Hey y'all, I just thought I would share a few layouts with you that I made during this past year before I put them in a page protector and get them in their albums. The layouts that I'm going to show you today all come from the Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. This magazine you can buy in a store, but you can also download it online at no charge, so I don't have any problem showing you the content of the magazine. My first layout that I'm going to share with you came from the fall 2017 issue out of their inspiration gallery. And here's the layout that I scrap lifted. It's by Laura Whitaker, and hers is titled Hello Grade 5, and it's a back to school layout. Now my layout that I created is not a back to school layout. It's a layout about my stepson holding his niece for the first time. In fact, it was the first time that he ever held a baby. So here's the layout that I made. I used one of the photo play collections. It was family ties, something related to family. It has a lot of like sister, brother, aunt, uncle, grandparent, mom, dad items in it. So basically I followed the design of Laura's layout. I cut my pattern paper into square blocks and I pierced holes just like they did, stitching along. You probably can't see it in this magazine, but they have white stitching running down the edges of the blocks. So I did the same thing with some brown stitching, except for I didn't mine by hand. This probably was done by machine. So you don't need a sewing machine to do stitching, just need a little patience. I did the 3 clusters just like the layout. Here are my 3 clusters. I put my title here, where on this layout there's no journaling, and not every layout needs journaling, but I wanted to tell the story of the first time that he held Adley, because they live in another state, my other stepson and his wife, and when she had their baby, he was in school and couldn't leave, so he didn't get to be there for the birth or right after the birth. So he had to wait a few months, and we went up there for Thanksgiving. And this is the first time he held her. So while this layout is a school layout, my layout is something totally different. So when you see a layout that you like, you don't really have to pay attention to what the title or the theme is. You just make it your own. The next 2 layouts that I want to share with you also come from Scrapbook and Cards Today, and they're from the fall 2016 issue of the magazine. The section it came out of is the Ideas, Insights, and Inspiration 10 Years, 10 Color Combinations. They were celebrating their 10th year of publication, and they were talking about different color combinations. The layout that I scrap lifted was this one from Stacy Cohen called Awesome Hair Day. And it's talking about using the color combination of pink, green, and turquoise, which I paid absolutely no attention to. I just liked the style of the layout, and I wanted to duplicate it. So here's what I came up with. This one is called On the List, Work Hard, Nap Harder. As you can see, I made the color strips of 3 different types of pattern paper. They all came from the same collection, and I don't remember what it was. Then I added the eyelets. I actually used up some eyelets. Yay! And I tied some thread through them. Well, some I tied, and then some I stitched. Just like they did. Or rather like Stacy did. I used 2 photos. I have the exact same grouping of embellishments. Where they did a floral over here, I have a do not disturb, a title at the top, and a title on the side. I did a little bit of journaling here versus here, but I have this like father, like son. And I also did a lot of hand stitching. I put a layer around the bottom half in green. And then I did a strip of the rust color there. So 2 totally different subjects, but I like the style of the layout, and that's how I duplicated it. The next layout I wanted to show you came from the exact same magazine and the exact same page, and it is The Pumpkin Patch by Lisa Dickinson. And it's talking about the colors aqua, orange, yellow, and brown, which I really did like the color combination, and I had some fall layout pictures, so this is pretty much an exact duplication. It's going to be the same theme. Here's the first side of my layout. This came from a kit that I won. It was a, just dropped some scissors. Luckily it didn't hit my toe. From a Noel Mignon kit. So it already had a lot of these little squares for me, so I didn't really have to do any cutting. I just used the squares that I had, and I inked the edges. I have my 2 photos over here, and I basically copied the same patchwork pattern. I put my journaling in the same place, my embellishments in the same place, and I did the stitching. There's stitching up here along the corners, and I duplicated that stitching also. And then the left side of the page has my title, and it also has 2 photos. I duplicated the stitching over here on the right hand bottom corner, and my title says Fall into Fun, and I did the same embellishment cluster here, the title here, and an embellishment here. Except for when I pulled this layout, I noticed I used a Q instead of a O. It's got a little bitty slash right there. So it does pay to put your layouts away and then pull them out and look at them again at a later date, because you might find something that you did that needs to be corrected. So I just thought I'd show you the layout with the pages actually together. I really liked how it turned out, and it is pretty much a duplicate of Lisa's layout. The last layout that I want to share with you today comes from the Summer 2017 issue, and it is under the section called Ideas, Insights, and Inspiration, and it's talking about hot trends spotted. And here's the layout that I duplicated. This is by Jen Chapin, and it's called Counting My Blessings. And the theme is a faith-based theme. The layout that I created is not faith-based, but I really liked the horizontal stripes in this. And I'll show you how I duplicated it. Now this looks like it's on an 8.5 by 11 page, but I turned mine into a 12 by 12. I did the same with the vertical strips, except I used 2 photos instead of 1. And because their colors were so bright and bold, they chose to do a black and white photo, whereas I just did color because the colors match with the papers that I wanted to use. Instead of having my title here, I did a memories down the side, but I still have the same clusters. There's one here. There's a cluster here, and I use this in place of the title. And then because I put my title here, I did not put a cluster down at the bottom. And a little trick, if you hand stitch, this looks like I may have stitched down the whole page, but if you turn the paper over, you'll see that I just stitched the areas that were not covered up. So I hope you enjoyed looking at my scrap lifting process. I scrap lift a lot. I have a really hard time coming up with my own designs, so I like to copy somebody else's, let them do the hard work, in my opinion, and I just do the fun part. Oh, and I also wanted to show you one other thing that I do. I forgot to mention. When I scrap lift a page, I'll normally annotate it. See, I put mine because that page is going into my album. So if I wanted to copy it again, I would know I had already done this for my album. I could possibly do it for somebody else's. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.